My name is Saif Morrison, and this week in car audio.
All right, start sharing.
Tune in. This week in car audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem, you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by internet sensation himself, Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's good, Jeff?
Hey, nothing much, Doug. Just here hanging out.
Yeah, I'm busy sharing right now, trying to go through all these things.
I was supposed to do my new salutations.
Okay.
There's this internet, YouTube influencer that I watch. He always starts off his videos by saying hello, hello. But I thought about doing that, and I guess it won't go over well.
Who's that? Who is that, by the way?
I don't know his real name, but he's like a stand-up comedian
Oh,
on Instagram. I think it is. Yeah, it's on Instagram.
he starts out, hello, hello.
Yeah, with a really thick Filipino accent.
Oh, so you listen to that Filipino life stuff.
Yeah, he I think he's from like San Francisco, the Bay Area.
I know that place.
Um, yeah. And he does a lot of like parody videos of like Filipino life and stuff like that. He's pretty funny.
All right, there you go. I'm all shared out.
Nice.
All right, so let me grab some stuff over here. Yeah, we have. I'm not going to wait on this anymore. I'm just going to straight into it. I want to welcome our guest, Mr. Poptart. What's good, Poptart?
Nothing much but the humidity out here in Tennessee again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Poptart and I were talking before you showed up, Jeff, about how them California people bringing their money out there and buying up the properties.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So,
That's good, Pop-Tart.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
buying everything up.
That's right. Joel up in Canada. He drove up there, I guess. Says hello from Canada.
Joe.
Yeah, Joel, you bam it. Let's see here. Now I need to go to this one live. So it's looking like we're getting closer. We're just waiting for the paperwork to go through and the time frame to work out for me to move to Dallas. So.
Oh, paperwork from your job or
Yeah.
from the house? Oh,
No,
okay.
from my job.
Oh, wow. How exciting.
So, but yeah, we're just waiting for the final paperwork, whatever, to go through. Steve Willis says, "You see me now?" No, I do not.
Mhm.
Dude, I have no idea what that's about. Apparently, yeah. Steve Willis says Dallas. Yep, my Dallas is getting close. So, in all reality, probably 3 to 4 weeks. It's that quick. Well, that's gonna put me right on June, isn't it? Yeah, that's gonna put me
okay.
right when my wife moves. So that might work out perfectly, because my wife's moving June 2nd. One of the things I did, my wife was researching. There's a company that they literally park a big rig out in front of your house. They leave it there for 3 days. You load it up,
Oh.
and then they take it and they drop it off at your new house for 3 days.
Is it pods?
No. This is actually a full big rig.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Dang.
So you
so it's a
Like a Mayflower or something?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hey, Tiffany
Ooh.
popping in says hi, everybody. So yeah, but it's actually about $600 cheaper than a U-Haul, renting a 26-foot U-Haul, and I don't have to drive it or pay for the gas.
Wow.
So, yeah, So I am strongly considering. I think it's like $3,200 for where our house is. So them to drop off a trailer here,
Wow, that's
and
not
then
bad.
we load
You
it
got
up.
that?
Huh?
I said you got that California money.
You guys are confused. Jeffrey will tell you. The
What?
California money ain't all that what it's supposed to be. Oh, so Steve Willis says, even though I still can't see him, says, thought you were moving to Kansas. So I built a house in Kansas, but with my business, as a carpenter in the for the construction company, their nearest office is Dallas. So I'm going to spend a couple of years in Dallas. That's going to fly by, and then there's some tests by Boom and Jeff. So I'm going to move to Dallas and go home on the weekends. Wally Johnson popping in says, "What's up?" But anyway, that's what I mean by Dallas. So yeah, Steve says, yeah, we get California money along with California bills. Yeah, I mean, because like my electricity bill last month was like $390 something. So I bet you don't pay that where you live in Tennessee.
No, not quite, because we don't. Well, me, I'm tight. I don't run my AC until about May, so we're looking about $120, $130
Whoa.
electric bill.
Well, so I don't not run my AC. So
Oh wow.
Justin Stolman says his was $379. Eric Hansen in the chat. What's good, Eric? I know you're a little late, but yeah, I talked to the guys. Oh, Steve Willis says his is between $450 and $800.
Wow.
Yeah, he must be.
Yeah, what's he got powering?
Yeah, he must be doing some marijuana plants or something. That thing's spinning.
Some grow lights.
Yeah, there you go.
Dang.
So that's legal here, you know.
I know, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so talk. Oh wow, it says Zamir on his name. I guess I should probably change that. Anyway, I was talking to Poptart before the podcast, and he was saying he started a new car audio competition forum, or whatever you want to call it, a competition organization.
Organization.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I dropped it back in October of last year. Me and Greg have been talking about it, and
Before or after finals?
After finals.
Okay.
And I named it's NBAC, which is National Bass Association Competition, which I have a website you can go to check out all the events. You can check out all the top sevens I got already up there. The events, the top sevens. Let's see what else is on there. The classes, the rules, and all that. So, but like I said, the website is nbacllc.com.
Okay.
If anybody's interested,
I just
check
found
it out.
I just found this amusing. Somebody posted in there right now. His name's Gordon Shumway. You guys know where Gordon Shumway's from? That was Alf's name. Alien Life Form, the show, the furry thing. His name was Gordon Shumway.
The 80s show?
Yeah, the 80s show. So he doesn't look like Alf in the picture. Anyway, he says, how do I get you all to Omaha? You get us all to Omaha by calling, texting, emailing, whatever us, and you ask us about it, and we help get that all straightened out for you. We tell you what the costs are going to be and what we would expect and how we would go about that. Was it? Oh yeah, because I can't look on that one. I got to look on this one where I can see. Steve Willis wants to know, what meter do you use, Pop-Tart?
I use the Term Lab Magnum Pro, which is the Judge Edition, just like every judge in DB Drag or Mecca or USAC has. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, me and Wayne we talk about it all the time.
Okay.
Trying to get onto the DB Drag site. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Where I can show all
Oh,
my results and stuff like they do USAC and IASCA and all that.
Okay.
that's cool.
Yeah. I do know. I believe he charges a premium to the organizations to be able to do that.
Yes.
So that's yeah.
Yeah, it's a monthly thing or a yearly thing. It's one of the two.
Okay.
So, but yeah, hopefully, man, I get big. We started out with my first show. I started out with 22 members, and now I'm 8 shows in and over 100 members. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, I get 2 to 5 members at every show. It seems like we're growing.
Are you guys
So,
still doing base race and DB drag and all that?
oh yes, yes. Me and Chris actually partnered together. Mr. Gregory, we do double organization events.
Uh huh.
So we got one coming up in June 21st. So it's going to be a DB Drag and NBAC show. Big old, we're having a raffle, which I have a lot of people like. Rusty just sent me a pair of subs, level ones. I got JP sent me some. I got American Base sent me some stuff. So hopefully we'll have a decent turnout for that raffle.
Okay.
Hey, are we gonna? Let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
About cash, are we gonna do a cash days again? State to state again this year or
Oh,
what?
might be a tough one.
For me, it'll be difficult, but you might be able to convince Jeffrey to do it. And I mean, I could
Jeffrey's gonna take all your men.
I could be convinced to do it. It would take a lot of planning for me, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's just what it is. But like I said, Jeffrey might be. I mean, he might be building a following out there from the Mexico guys, the SoCal guys, and
Hey, all you gotta
be
do
able
is
to do
hit Moses. Moses knows everybody.
it. Yeah. Justin Stolman says he'll take all your money. He says his
Starting
truck's,
already.
yeah, he said his truck's coming out for its first show this weekend. 815s on 60K, hoping for 68 or 69 on the glass.
That's them dream sickos, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Sam Dunn is asking if I will be in Alabama for World Finals. To be honest with you, I don't know where I'll be for World Finals. I know I won't be bowling a tournament. That's all I know. I had a tournament scheduled, and I had to cancel it because when they announced the day for World Finals, it just happened to fall on the exact same day as my bowling tournament. So, not sure. Can't answer it. Does anyone know if we are going to Alabama? He's asking about finals again. Eric, we don't know.
Birmingham, ain't it?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. But as far as multi-venues, I know the intention is to have them. And it's really going to depend on the amount of participation you get in each area.
Well, I think the finals has already been set with IASCA and ISPLL and Birmingham.
Right.
Sam Dunn says finals is in the hood.
Is it in the hood?
I don't know. Justin says Dreamsicles truck has already done a 67. I'm adding more power and better sub. Oh, Dreamsicles is a type of subwoofer. It's a brand, Justin.
Directronics.
Yeah, it's Directronics.
Dan Horner special subs.
That's right. Oh, he said Sam Dunn said it's a super nice venue in a shitty ass place, Alabama.
Oh no.
So no, that's cool.
Don't park outside.
Yeah, just don't park outside.
Yeah.
IASCA, ISPLL, and DB Drag already confirmed at Birmingham Convention Center. All right, there you go. So that's where that one's going to be. I don't know where I'll be. I don't know if I'll be on the West Coast, if I'll be in Canada, if I'll be in Texas, be Alabama.
European. Go to Europe.
Yeah, go to Europe. What the hell? Go to Europe, Brazil.
I've been invited to come George and Paul and all them want me to come to the European finals this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do the same. They're going to do the same time as the
Right.
Americans. So
That's right.
I don't think they put a date to it yet for the European. So
No.
Justin says no California World Finals location.
Man.
If you listen, Justin, we just talked about that, and it really is going to depend on participation this year. So if we get enough participation in California, it will end up, we'll end up with another California
look what
location.
happened last year in Texas.
Yeah.
Texas blew up, and they were, granted a finals location. So it's just that easy.
Yep. I think Poptart's having internet issues.
Oh no. Oh, you know what? Speaking of European finals, that I remember watching a live feed from European finals, and there was people in the lanes, like there was a dude smoking a cigarette, like popping a beer, and I was like, man, that's maybe they're pretty lax on that kind of stuff over there, but I was like, that's kind of cool.
Well, when you do I'm gonna go switch to this real quick while we wait for Poptart to pop back in. He was I think he's having internet issues. Where are we going? There we go. But one of the weird things is one time when I went to go see Andrew McCain, and he's in New Mexico, and I walked up to the counter and I was just looking to get some change, and like, what kind of smokes you want? I was like, dude, that's
what?
Yeah, they were trying to sell me cigarettes. I was like, huh? So it was definitely weird. Let's see here. Gordon Shumway, where is Poptart? I'm just gonna text him. Log back in. I wanted to hear about his organization. He was telling me.
Yeah, I was taking a look at online, on my phone, about his classes.
Justin,
there are quite a few.
Justin says Poptart has the hillbilly internet.
What? Someone has to ride an exercise
bike to get the modem going. For those that remember modems. Let's see what this one says. I see here. Have you guys talked about new points incentives from Wayne for running multiple formats? I was going to talk to that. That's part of the reason I brought Poptart on, to see his thoughts on this as a competitor.
Points race.
Yeah. So are you familiar with all of the stuff, intricacies of it?
Just from what the press release was about.
Where did
it's another Cody initiative.
Okay.
I thought was cool.
Yep. Oh, I hear Poptart.
Hey, I'm here.
There he is.
You gotta love these electronics, boy.
Yeah. So we were actually talking about the new points incentive thing put out by DB Drag Racing. Are you familiar with the Poptart?
Yeah, if you paid up so much, you get like 20 points added.
No.
Oh.
You want to share it with them, Jeffrey?
Yeah. So I'll just read it straight off the DB Drag Facebook page, but it's says here the DB DRA is hyped to introduce Points Race. Our brand new Points Race competition is designed to recognize and reward competitors for their event participation across all DB drag racing formats. This innovative program tracks contestants' total points accumulation, which means the more formats you enter at a show, the more points you can earn. For example, if you attend a 1X and you secure first place in DB drag, which is 8 points, and a second place in base race, which is 7 points, and fourth place in freestyle is 4 points. So that's 3 different formats. They add your total points. Your total score for the event would be 19 points. So like it says here, the more formats you enter and place in, you get points, and then it gets all added up. And then there's a whole separate leaderboard for that I seen Joel actually post, because I think he's one of the ones on top. I'm not sure if he's the top. right
So,
now, but
so that's what I was always doing. That would be the Sonic FX points champion. Would be the
ah,
person who accumulated the most points across total points across whatever format they want to compete in. And then I would give them the following year free entry into any of my shows and a points jacket. So that's how Moses ended up with one. He
mhm.
got it 2 years in a row, and the second year he had me give it to Rosa. So
Ah,
Rosa and him have matching jackets for that. So that was cool.
yeah.
Yep.
I know how back last year, a lot of people were doing base race and top dog,
Yep.
and they were just racking up points. So now you can combine those, and then you could just be, points race champion.
And add a little freestyle in there and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the different
Yep.
formats.
So Pop Tart, we were we're going to talk to you right before you popped off. Um, why don't you tell us some of the formats you have and how
Mhm.
you came up with your classes and whatnot?
Yeah. Well, real quickly, is it on the dash or is it in the kick?
Well, how I run my organization,
Mhm.
it's up to the competitor. They can do the dash,
Oh,
kick,
okay.
headrest.
Headrest.
Um,
Okay.
they could do anywhere in front of the B pillar forward. They can
Mhm.
even do it on the side window if they want to. Put the suction cup on the side of the window.
Oh,
So,
interesting. Okay.
um, I like
Do
I
you
said, my
guys have
format.
globes or
No, no globe, just regular sensor with the suction
just
cups.
wherever it sticks? Does it have to stick on glass or?
Well, I got a mic stand for the kick, got a headrest stand for the headrest, and then I
Oh,
got the
okay.
and well, the window it sticks with the suction cups. I use the DB drag jig, for the windshield, but
Mhm.
the side windows, we just think pit anywhere as long as it's in front of the B pillar.
Okay.
So, like I said, I got 25 classes. Um, Matter of fact, I got all my classes are classified through speaker cone only, no power
Mm.
limit. And then, we got the
Okay.
trunk class, got your street wall modified class, you got your extreme class. There's three classes in each format, which
Mm.
they're all based on speaker cone area.
So, do your classes kind of align with DB Drag, IASCA, USAC?
A little bit of everybody since I've been in the car audio world over 30 years. So I kind of took a little bit of this organization, and kind of combined it into mine. So it has a little bit of everybody's, but not the full thing. Like I do 20-second burp runs instead of 30-second burp runs.
Oh, wow.
Makes it more challenging. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. So, what about, I mean, wall height? What definition did you use for wall height?
The wall is anything. It basically is walls are basically B pillar back.
Mm.
Um, they can have you basically can you get a little bit more freedom. You can have wooden door panels. You know, wooden headliners. You just can't have enough. You can't have one thing keeps you from a wall to extreme is the dash and the windshield.
Yeah, but
Can't have you can't have.
how do you define a wall?
I define a wall as it's basically a full enclosed all the way around. You know what I'm saying?
So,
I see it here in your
It's all
rules.
sealed off.
It says here, no part of the enclosure can fill or lay up against the sides of the interior of the vehicle.
Yes.
Also has to have a gap between the headliner slash roof and top of the enclosure. Ah, okay.
So if I can slide a piece of paper between the
Oh,
headliner
wow.
and the top of it, is that?
Well, no, let's be real on the
Well, no,
paper
no,
now,
no. I
'cause
mean,
Yeah.
no. So I mean, so DB drag. When I first got into DB drag as a judge, our rule pages was only 6 pages long, right?
yeah,
And now it's 26. Uh, there you go. Steve Willis just said, so I can have a wall without having a wall. That's what I was getting at. So part of DB Drag's issue is when we came up with these no wall classes, then we started trying to define them, and got so difficult to define them, and that's why we settled in on a measurement number.
well, yeah, and that will come. Saying this is my first year.
Mhm.
Saying it's like a trial and error. So people are going to test
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So when it comes, I can start making rules a little bit more. Saying get with another guy.
Yeah.
To help me out. We can go over things about, like, okay, we're going to pick this little thing out because somebody's already picked it out. They did the gray line. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah,
I will tell you, as with laws or anything else in the world, every rule exists because somebody made us write it down. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, no, that's cool. So you have walls, no walls, street,
Yeah.
super. Essentially, as far as DB Drag's concerned, street, super street, and extreme, right?
yeah. hmm
Okay.
And then I also got the trunk class.
Trunk.
Yeah, because you can't leave the trunk guys out.
No. And what? So, what's your favorite class?
I tell you, my favorite class is probably I'd say no wall, man, because I have some
Yeah.
guys actually doing same almost as loud as wall guys in a no
Exactly.
wall class. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because you got a guy who has a no wall and they're in the subs are in the back of the vehicle versus a wall
Mhm.
right there behind your seat, front seats, and they're about 2 or 3 dB difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jeffrey was one of the first guys with the no wall builds to start pushing the Super Street 1 to 2 guys' names. Right? Yes, Steve Willis says, so if I use a piece of paper and slide it between the box and the vehicle, I should be good for no wall. That's exactly what
Well,
I said, Steve.
that would be judge's description on that. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
I know how some people would absolutely love that because their enclosure or even, speakers, it doesn't really touch the ceiling. And, in DB drag, it has to be
the 13-inch
yeah.
rule.
Yeah.
And they get upset because it's like it's not enclosed, it's not a wall. Don't put me in a wall class, and we got to do that. But I know a lot of those guys would just like absolutely love that because they wouldn't be in the wall.
Well, I just have to bring out the string test like DV Drag does.
Oh, okay.
Now, if the string touches the wall on the side, yeah, but that'd be my string. I get one of those big old fat ropes. You know what I'm
Uh
There you go.
saying?
No,
But
so what inspired you guys to start doing your own organization?
I competed for 30 plus years. Okay,
Right.
31, 32 years. Steve Stern was a big inspiration to me. You know what I'm saying? When he kind of sold Mecca, he kind of hurt. And I kind of seen the downfall of Mecca
Mm-hmm.
when Steve let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of died for 2 years. It kind of died for 2 years in Tennessee. Everybody's like, man, we need some shows. We need some shows. Well, I was like, well, I would have been working on this for like 3 years, trying to figure the formats, figure a name, then, first show I did, it was a pretty good following. You got to basically you have a location, you got to have a good following, and you got to have your organization got to kind of be fun, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
For people to want to come.
No, it's definitely
Yeah.
got to be fun. If it's not fun, they aren't coming back.
No,
Uh,
I
so-
already experienced that, you know what I'm saying? I already had people say, man, this is a fun show, I got people who've been following me since day one, so I like that. And plus I give out cash money at the end of the show.
okay.
So, people, I gave out $185 at one show to one person, and I gave out. I do three. I usually do three give outs. So
Okay.
I actually give back. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about me taking in the money. I give back to the competitors, and I guess they like that because they feel like they're appreciated on.
Do they get Pop-Tarts too?
I had a couple. I had some shows where I brought Pop Tarts, and everybody thought I was selling them. I said, no, I ain't selling them. You can have one. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So yeah,
So
but yeah,
I tried that
That's cool.
giving out. I think, what did we give out, like $8,000 or $9,000 that one year with you, Jeffrey? And people just complained about it and just made me not want to do it anymore.
well, y'all make too much money out in California. That's why they complain.
Yeah. Well, they complained about it. We gave out almost $9,000 or over $9,000 at the show.
You give me 9,000, I ain't complaining. I'm like, thank you. You probably get a kiss.
But I collected money from every entry throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, gave the money back, to all the competitors. So,
Yeah.
And like I said, it was really a good deal, and just people didn't appreciate it, and so stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So,
But I do it for one reason: is that it keeps people on their toes, and they actually stay for the whole show. Because I tell them, if your number gets drawn, you have to be here present to get the cash.
Mm.
So it kind of keeps them at the show the whole time.
Steve Willis is asking, what did they complain about? Well, they complained that they didn't win it. So,
Well, it's called
No wonder.
so the last one we ran, it was New Mexico, Dallas, and us, right? For the West Coast finale. It was 3 locations, and I thought it was with you, Jeffrey. It might have been SoCal.
Yeah, it was SoCal.
It was SoCal, NorCal, and New Mexico. And they they didn't. It didn't go well. So it wasn't. I really enjoyed doing it. I did it for a while, and as the money got bigger, the people complained more. And
because they didn't win.
Yes.
They didn't win.
Yeah. Getty Kendrick popping in there. He says, "What's up, Doug? Good seeing you at the bowling with you at Dublin Bowl the other day." So he's a competitor out here in Northern California. Haven't seen him around for 3 or 4 years, and walking to the bowling alley, and there he is. Ended up bowling on the same pair with them. I bowled in the Pro-Am as an amateur, so that was fun. It was just no tap, and I was just there to have fun and throw a bowling ball down the lane. And there's Getty, and he said he was getting back into DB drag just as I was leaving. So, yep, kind of a shucksy thing. So, Pop-Tart, well, why don't you tell us how your organization, like, if I'm going to show up to your organization, what am I going to see? How is it going to go? How's the day going to go? How long is the day going to be?
Well, you'll see my pretty face at the table, taking your money.
Okay.
But now it's I got banners hanging up, what I'm saying, for the people whose companies who's kind of backing me right now. But you'll basically it's a one for all. Just come up, register, and come up when you're ready to run. You know what I'm saying? And which I don't have no brackets like DB Drag has brackets. So it's just
more like
basically
USAC, one run you're done type thing.
Well, I do a 2 run. After 2 runs, I do all my first runs first, and if you want, and then I'll make a call for reruns, and they're $5, which you get 2 runs on a rerun. So if you want to get your score better or try to get in that, if you're in 4th place, you're trying to get 3rd place. If you think you can, that gives you a chance. But my shows usually go about between 5 to 7 hours.
And then when do you call the end?
I usually call the end when there's nobody in line.
Oh, okay.
Do
So
that
you
last call.
you could go for 7 hours potentially, right?
Yes, our first show we done this year at Freeze Fest, it went almost all the way to, we started at 9 o'clock, and it was almost it was at dark time. It was like five something. It was pretty long day.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, imagine having like two competitors. They're like, neck and neck, and they're paying
Couple
for
of
reruns,
tenths.
paying for
Yeah.
reruns and reruns and
Well,
reruns. That can get crazy.
there is a stopping point. There is a stopping point to all that now.
Oh.
You know, what I'm saying.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, if I figured they're not getting nowhere,
Mm.
we're gonna cut it off. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't had that issue yet, but I'm pretty sure later on through the season I'll probably get something like that where someone's battling somebody for first or second.
Mm-hmm.
So
Man, go to the hundreds. Take the
yeah.
meter into the hundreds. See.
Well, my meter. That's how I do my scoring is to the hundred.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is to the hundreds. It ain't the tenths. It's the hundreds.
Okay.
So I want to see what the
Okay.
full score is. So
So
and
Steve, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
I said Steve Willis says a bunch of complaining about walls and no walls is his guess what people were complaining about. But what they were complaining about was now they were playing on more of a national type stage, and they just weren't as loud as the other guys, and they would lose. And that's really what they were not happy about. So
Yeah.
and he also says so there's no time limit on registration limit.
Not really, because as long as I got the lanes open, come on up and what I'm saying, because I know some people have they work or they may have car issues or something. I understand that, but as long as the lanes are open, I got people in line. If you come at 2 o'clock, yeah, you can still register. I ain't gonna cut nobody off because I feel like I'm there for the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there for for me. Well, okay, I made my money. I'm ready to pack up and go home.
Okay. So what are your different formats? Burping, music, cyclone style, base race style, what?
We got I got the burp, which is the burp, the frequency, whatever. Everybody's got that, and I do.
Do you have limits on your
music.
frequency?
I do. They're 55 hertz, and then the no wall and modified class and extreme is the third class in that in each class is open. Basically, I let they can go as high they want. Basically that's bring what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The J Coves or the Bows or something. Playing 70 something hertz. You know what I'm saying? Just bring what you got.
Right.
So, but now I got like I said, I got music classes. It's the Whirlwind, which they go. You just basically it's the same thing. You got street, no wall, trunk, modified, but basically you just play a frequency for 30 seconds, and it might goes anywhere. Now and then I got a standing pound, which is 40 seconds. The mic is on a 3 foot, it's 3 foot high and then the mic stands outside your, where you open your door at. That's where the mic goes. So the mic's right there at the pillar for the opening of the vehicle.
Standing pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if you're like Corbin?
Lifted.
Yeah, his truck's 6 foot to the bottom of it.
Well, it's gonna be hard because the mic stays at 3 foot. Yeah, so he would get. Actually, he probably would be loud because sound carries.
Oh.
You ever put the mic on the ground versus in the air on someone's doing a.
No. I understand because then it bounces off the ground, but there is no ground near his truck. So.
Well, that like I said, I don't have nobody around here like that.
Okay.
So I really don't have to worry about that unless I expand out to Las Vegas and all that.
Right.
But I don't see me doing that.
No. That's cool. So, any other classes? So you have some music. Do you
We
have anything that's like the low and loud or something like that?
we got I got Port Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
That's all for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yep.
bring. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's whatever. It's an all for one type deal.
If you want a cheap way to compete, Port Wars is it. I can make a
Yeah,
single 10 with like 1200 watts do high mid to high 70s. It's not that difficult. All you got to do is create the port velocity and get
exactly.
it across the port.
Well,
It's
we had one. I had a teammate last year who we ran base wars. He ran. We did a port thing with a single. It was a single Directronic Directronic special built sun. It had sundown, but it was one of them like RP subs. It has like freaking 5 layers, all resin and all that. The cone was resin, but we had
Oh,
we had a 6K on it, which we did like a 78 with a one single eight.
yeah.
So
It's
but
all about port velocity and that.
yeah,
You know.
we
Um,
tested. We bought Home Depot out of PVC pipe because we were testing
what?
this, testing that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
yeah.
But I also got I got a class called Grudge Wars,
Grudge
Okay.
Wars.
and that's bumper to bumper. It's a bracket style type deal. We got 4 classes. We got a broke class. We have a street class. And we have a modified class and extreme class, and basically it's all about speaker count. Like we don't count subs and we don't count tweeters. It's just all mids and highs. And you play 75 seconds of your best sounding music of your vehicle, and the judges walk around, and whichever vehicle goes to the next round.
Grudge
So,
Wars. That's cool.
but yeah, if everybody here's my if y'all see it, trying to
Oh, it's your like
Oh,
card.
your card.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did put a link to the
He did.
website on the chat here, so we got some.
Okay. But I'm just a
Hey, there
small
you go.
award. This is my first year going. I got shows lined up in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Alabama. So them the 3 states I'm in right now.
And how far is your furthest show for you?
I right now it's like 2.5 hours is my longest one right now. But
That's how far Jeffrey goes to work.
No. Well, it used to in
Yeah.
LA, but
Yeah.
so Doug had mentioned, he asked you what your favorite class was. What would you say the competitor's favorite class? Like, what classes is the most people go into?
I tell you what, it probably is no wall. You know what I'm saying? Or
No? Okay.
yeah, no wall. Yeah, no
More
wall modified. They're about neck and neck.
more of a run what you brung type thing.
Yes, right. Yeah, what I'm saying, bring.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I took the DV drag, kind of a DV drag type deal. Like, since it's just cone area,
Mm-hmm.
I count for. You can put as much power you want on your woofers.
Yeah. Well, let me check calendar. Get back to you midweek. Oh yeah, that was Richard Pappison texted me. He may be on next week to talk about Base Wars and what they got coming up. So we'll see. Oh wait, is this weekend Autorama or is that next weekend?
I think it's this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
3rd?
Yeah. So, oh, that's right. And talking to Ray, he doesn't want to do it the day after Autorama, obviously, but he wants to do it the week after that. So maybe we'll get Richard on next week to talk about Base Wars. So
Well, let me ask you.
Uh-huh.
All right, let me ask something. Now you going to come back to Cali if Moses and them Rosa get married? We're gonna
Yeah,
have a DV drag event.
probably like we did with Gary Killian.
Yeah.
Were you part of that at all, Jeff?
I don't believe so. This was when Gary had it in Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
had his
Yeah,
wedding
yeah.
there,
No, I
and
wasn't
we did
there.
an internet show, Northern California versus Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so that's what they did for
That
their
sounds
wedding.
cool.
Yeah, and then we did it for 2 years after that, and then the people that were coming out there were
Trashing his land.
Oh,
disrespectful to
what?
his land, and he decided that show was over. We were doing it May 7th. Calvin popping in. Jeff was the wedding cake topper at Gary's wedding. So you did
Um,
participate. You were lying to
I
us.
guess I must have been there
one too many,
subconsciously.
one too many Modelos.
I think so. I think that might have been it.
So yeah, so I might be moving, like I said, the first week of June, last week of May, maybe, right, to Dallas. And at that time, my niece is getting married in California. I think like June 20th or something. So she keeps asking my wife if we're gonna come back for her wedding, and we're like, dude, I don't know if we can just come back for your wedding. You know.
Well, I'm pretty sure you got plenty of places to stay.
No, because it's in Monterey. So,
Oh,
and you know, I will tell. Calvin says mucho love, Grandpa. Grandpa
Jeff.
Jeff. I thought he was gonna say Goompa, but anyway, yeah, no, it's just Monterey is actually one of my most favorite places I've ever been. Monterey and Virginia City outside of Reno. Two of my favorite places I've ever been. And
Oh yeah, Monterey. I think it was that weekend that Greg Audio Connections had his show, and then me and Dana ended up going up to Monterey.
yeah,
That's where they had the wharf, right?
yes, exactly.
Oh yes, yes, beautiful place.
It is phenomenal. If you guys ever get a chance, go there. Andrew McCain flew out here to go dive there. That's one of the premier diving spots in the world.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So and I went with Andrew, and I had some malfunctions with my gear, and so I had to abandon the dive. And he got hooked up with some other people, and because you don't ever scuba dive alone. So.
I ain't scuba diving nothing. Too many sharks.
Well, well, I'm just saying that's outside of the red triangle, as they call it, right? So if you see a great white down there, it's not going to eat you. It's pupping. So
yeah,
you'll be fine.
That's the last one, famous last words. They ain't gonna eat you.
They ain't gonna eat you. But you do occasionally see whales, lots of seals. Now the seals are. Steve Willis wants to know: is that what's wrong with you?
The shark bait.
Oh, Nick Savino finally popping in. You know, I have looked for sharks. I've got around 150 dives. I've seen exactly 0 sharks. So, and I'm looking for them. So I'm just saying, I would love to go great white diving sometime. That would be awesome.
Well. But you'll be in the next Jaws movie, I guess, huh?
So, no, like I said, I think that I'm a big fan of scuba diving. As a matter of fact, my new house I bought in Wichita, part of the reason I bought on that lake instead of the other lake was they allow scuba diving on the lake. So I'll be scuba diving my lake.
But now, Doug, are you going to be having to find locations now, or is Jeffrey going to be nice enough to let you have his locations?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Predominantly, I was doing shows at Crossfire. They have they're in the process of moving a few cities over. And the new location, I've been told by Roger, is kind of near some houses. So
not competition friendly.
It might not be. So if that's the case, Doug has free reign. he could try to go there if he like. But
yeah,
but
I've been fortunate, and successful throughout California and picked up locations. So I do have a method to pick up locations. I got, I have. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I have clout, right? I've done a show or two, and so I can explain to them what to expect and what they would need to do and how they could be successful using the show and stuff like that. So I have all those tools to share with the shop. So
Well, I might have to get with you, Doug, after this and get some tips.
Steve Willis says, "What? Do you have knee pads?"
But, finding locations is the number one thing.
Yep.
To keep an organization going.
Yeah.
So I learned that real quick. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got location, you ain't got followers, you ain't gonna have no organization.
That's true. Like I said, there's some really good stuff out here. I got to fight with police stuff and noise ordinances in California and stuff. I got emails to help show the average stereo competition versus the so one time I went down to LA and I did a noise thing, did mock competition, and we had Roger's van. What was like a Blazer or something? Is that what Roger
he had a Blazer back then. Uh-huh.
And so we measured the ambient noise when we were running our competition, and the only three things that violated the noise ordinance of the city, and Whittier has one of the most stringent noise ordinances in California. Three things violated it: a garbage truck owned by the city, a police siren owned by the city, and a fire truck. So the only thing that violated the noise ordinances were city-owned vehicles. So that was one of the things.
That's enough data right there to convince cities.
Yeah,
I would say.
I guess that was before freestyle, huh? And cyclone.
Yes. No cyclone, no freestyle. Right. This is DB drag only days.
Yeah, and that was probably when Roger had an extreme vehicle at the time.
It was an extreme vehicle. He was doing, I think he did 72 or 73.
Oh, okay.
So it was like one of the last years he competed. So I mean, his extreme was loud, and that was specifically why we used his extreme vehicle, because it was loud, right?
Yeah, because it looks loud.
Yeah, here's the extent. Look how loud he is. That's why we used his vehicle.
That's what got me into DB drags a long time ago. Is when I went to my first World Finals here in Nashville, when they used to have it in Nashville.
So fun.
You've seen all these extreme vehicles.
Yeah,
there's more extreme vehicles than there was regular vehicles, and I was like, wow, man. Now it's like, where they all go.
Yeah.
You ever wonder where where they all are now? Or like,
I know where a couple of them are. They're growing weeds, most of them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, isn't that where your rabbit is too, Jeff? Growing weeds somewhere?
No, it's competing in another organization.
Oh,
it just won U.S.A.C.A finals. Well, I mean, obviously it's not in my possession anymore,
right.
The vehicle itself is still alive and kicking.
What about your van?
That's gone.
Is that I think, in a field somewhere?
I don't know. I think it got. I gave it to another team member, and he was moving, and we never got the, I guess, times right. I never went and picked it back up. And I think he said it got towed away, so there that one. But
I did build a 89 CRX into an extreme vehicle. 3-inch thick windshield, doors that thick, the whole shebang. I think it weighed like 4,200 pounds as a CRX. It was weighed
Jeez.
enough that it bent the axles when we put some steel I-beams on it. We had to put steel I-beams in support. Steve Wills says junkyards,
I-beams.
and that's where I was. Yes, because shocks would not hold up the weight of the vehicle any longer. And that's exactly. I went into a junkyard. I don't know, about 7-8 years after the last time I saw it, and there it was in the junkyard in Turlock. So
What?
yeah, I mean they can't crush it. There's no metal left in the car, right?
That's right. It's like when I bought the MTX Geo back in the day, the RFL Geo, and yeah, that thing, it was already extremed, and that thing barely ran, and the suspension on it was, you'd never believe it. It was a 4x4.
Oh yeah,
where the springs are. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the suspension to keep it from dragging.
Right. Yeah. So we tried 2x4s, but they kept breaking.
That was a 4x4.
No, I know. We tried 2x4s. They kept breaking.
Yeah.
So we switched to a 4-inch wide I-beam, 4-inch by 1/4-inch flange, and we welded that. And then you just look as the car started, after about like 2 seasons or a year and a half or so, the axle itself started breaking right there where the I-beams were welded.
Wow.
So yeah.
I bet that is the best riding vehicle you ever owned.
that thing rode so bad. But it was a trailer queen, so we didn't have to worry about it, right? So
yeah, them the good old days, man. I miss them.
I know.
Yeah, me too.
We'll never bring them back, man. Especially, let's talk about the Terrace, man. The Terrace is killing the car audio world, ain't it? What's y'all opinion?
Has that been killing anything that you've been part of, Jeff? It's got to be affecting things like Crossfire, the sub-market, right?
I don't think so. Not on that end. But I think just right now, if you talk about competition, it's commonplace now. The Terras are going to be here to stay, no matter what
tariffs. He's talking about tariffs.
Oh, tariffs.
Yeah, money.
Oh, man. I know. Yeah. No, not that I can recall.
Yeah. So all the people I know that are, some of the bigger, like DC Audio, whatever, they have such an inventory right now. They're trying to write out a lot of this stuff. So,
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Rusty not too long. It was like a couple of days ago. We were talking about it. He's like, yeah, he says, I'm just going to keep what I got, saying right now. And, because the 245% on tariff is crazy. And
wow,
there's a few companies, man, I'm probably going to go out of business because, they don't have nothing to sell.
Right. And so what a lot of people don't understand, though, too, is this is mainly a negotiating tactic, right? It's the part is a lot of those Asian companies, specifically China, they're stealing our intellectual technology. Like I used to have an amplifier made in Korea, and when I sent it over to them, they tried selling my design to other people. So I took their amp, redesigned it, got it to where it was half ohm stable, for burps, and they couldn't get it below 1 ohm. But, through some help with a couple of engineers I know out here in the States, we were able to get that thing half ohm stable. And if you did it right, we can run 1/4 ohm on it all day. Now, if you run, and I won't say who the manufacturer was, but a manufacturer was trying to buy my design from them. And so they were sending it out. And because I knew they would do stuff like that, I would buy the amps from them. I would bring them into my shop, and I would change out a couple of components that made it more stable. Once I did that, then I would ship out the amps. And this other company kept buying them. They're like, dude, it's the same amp as you. And they were literally catching fire because they didn't have the right values in some of their stuff inside the amplifier. So, intellectual properties. But I do believe it is a short-term thing that will get worked out. just trying to get fair trade for everybody. Yeah, Tiffany says the tariffs make it even harder for dealers outside of the U.S. Added cost on top of that, and where she's at in Barbados, they get dinged hard with tariffs, and it just in general. And the goal is to make tariffs easy. Ultimately, the best case scenario is there's a 10% tariff in, 10% tariff out. So equal tariffs, and I believe it will settle in that direction. It might take a little bit, but that's where it's going to settle. This 200% whatever is not going to last forever. So.
I think once the bravado passes,
exactly.
they're like, man, we got a deal.
Yeah, now we got to make a deal. Let's make a deal, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, just don't let all these companies buy right now, because you buy, the tariffs will be over with. then you're stuck with the high price tariffs.
Exactly. Like I said, so Rusty's doing the right thing, right? He's sitting on the product he has now.
So if he sells it, he's gonna be out of it, and then is that what his intention is?
No. So he can.
Oh, okay.
He can sit on it and sell the subs but he pre-planned and purchased it ahead of time. But I have heard some rumors of some of the Chinese companies now hitting like leaving stuff out in port before they hit port, just to try and make a hostage out of somebody's product and say, hey, now you got to pay this extra tariff because and say, hey, we aren't gonna, and they already have the full payment. So I'm not necessarily with car audio, with some other industries. So
kind of like what they were doing with containers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like containers.
The containers.
Oh, I know one company right now, and one individual is dealing with that right now. So they done jacked the tariff on. He already paid one price.
Yep.
But now they jacked it up. Now it's like double.
Yep.
And it's just sitting over there in the container in the ocean.
Yep.
Like waiting to come over or whatever. But
exactly, and that isn't on the guy who paid for it already. That's on the company that sold it to them. It's their fault for not, that's a responsibility of that company. So, but yeah. Anyway, we're not a politics show, so we ain't gonna go much into that. But like I said, I think it is something that will, in the long run, be better for everybody. I think do you think that'll affect the competition scene, like I don't think it will.
Competitors?
I honestly don't think it will.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. This is a much grander thing than what we do. We're a microcosm of what's going on. So I mean, we're such small potatoes. It'll affect industries like construction. Will severely get affected by it, right? On both sides, right? China, the United States. The thing is like China buys all the plywood they can from the United States. Well, if they can't get plywood, then they can't produce what they need to produce, right? And then reciprocal, we buy all our steel from China. So, like I said, it'll get worked out in the end once both sides, stop doing a Johnson swinging contest and and get everything worked out. And I do believe in the long term, it'll be better for both sides. So, but either way, all right, Poptart, you got any last things to say?
I'll just say, just keep it going, man. Keep car audio alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do over here in Tennessee and, the southern state of Alabama and the northern state of Kentucky, just keeping it alive. Keep it going.
Yeah.
This is what we do. That's what we live by.
I mean, you've been doing it, what, 35 years, you said, or whatever?
No, you make me old now. About 32, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, about 32 years,
Okay.
I wish I had a retirement plan because I'd be.
Oh yeah, same here.
You
I'm
know what
working.
I'm saying?
I just my wife and I were just going over our retirement plan, so
Mm.
we're sitting fairly good. So um, ready for retirement. Can't wait. What about you,
But
Jeffrey?
Um, Nothing really so much to say on the end note, but I think just we had Pop Tart on the show. It doesn't matter what organization,
Mhm.
we've said this many a times. It doesn't matter what organization you compete in. Like Pop Tart was saying just now, keep the car audio community alive. Um, you probably never heard of Pop Tart's organization till today. So
Right.
that means you can check it out. I put the link to the website on the chat here. You guys can check it out. Who knows? You could be the next top guy in his organization.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everything, man. It's like I said, you know, we all here for the same reason. There ain't
Mhm.
no sense of feuding over or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because everybody's going to go where they feel like they can play in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. For me, like we always say, if you bring somebody with you to a competition, very rarely do they say that's exactly what I was expecting. They're always shocked and awed and really enjoy the people that were there. Whoa! All of a sudden, I just saw like a million freaking chats. Oh, I think my thing just reset. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, new record.
I was like, holy crap. No, it just went all the way to the top and then scrolled through all the chats for the whole day. Anyway, you know, like I said, just bring somebody with you. They'll enjoy it. They enjoy that you enjoy it. Always
Mhm.
remember that. When you're enthused about something and you share it with somebody, they understand and see the enthusiasm and they become enthused themselves.
Hmm.
So, if you bring one person with you, every show we double our attendance,
Yeah.
right? It's that
Yeah.
simple. Bring,
Easy math.
yeah, and hey, if you know somebody's not bringing somebody with them, then you bring two. That's how we double the shows.
And I always tell them at my shows,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's, I got some people come and they're like, man, I don't know, I got this, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
I got one sub, and I got my speaker wires running through my door jams. I'm like, dude, I tell people,
Mm.
hey, we're all the same. We're all here for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it don't matter the smallest to the biggest, you're the same as the other person. You're here because you want to be here because you like bass.
Yep. And,
Yeah.
and you'll also find show off your system. If you got a single 10 sealed in your trunk, but you're proud of it, show it off. The other
Mm-hmm.
people will appreciate it. Even that guy with 15 15s with 200,000 watts in his car, he's probably started off with a single 10, and he's going to get nostalgia when he sees your single 10. So
Right.
don't be afraid to show off what you got, and you'll be surprised how there's a lot of people out there that really appreciate what you're doing with your car, and um, they like it
Yeah.
just as much as you do.
And I
Mhm.
always tell them also, man, I always tell them, hey, go out here and talk to everybody out in the
Mm-hmm.
field. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Get on a team. Teams are really important in car audio because they would help you.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mhm.
help you rebuild. They help you test. They'll support you at the show. Find you a team. Get you on a team. I have a lot of first timers. Now they're on teams. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Oh,
Absolutely.
man.
I mean,
find you a team.
Tennessee Bass Racers is a great testament to that philosophy.
We got a lot of them out here.
Yep. So
Yep. Chris did a good thing on that.
he did,
Oh, yeah.
and anybody else can copy that and duplicate it and grow their area. It is
Mhm.
always remember it's not somebody else's chore. If you want to see it happen, then it becomes your chore to do, and
All right.
it'll be a chore of love, right?
All right, Jeffrey. We want to see the California base races now.
I'm working on it. I'm working on
He
it.
is. So, all right, guys, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Pop Tart. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank y'all.
We're going to be on again next week. I'm trying to get Mr. Papasan on and see if we can get him on here for Base Wars. And we'll talk about that organization hopefully next week. Following week after that, I already talked to Ray Pimley. We're going to talk about what happened at Autorama after that. So,
Sounds good.
Once again, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again next week at 6:30 California time, the only time that matters. And
That's my bedtime.
Yep. So hold on, don't hang up, Pop-Tart, and we'll talk to you in a minute. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next week on This Week in Car Audio. Peace. We out. Hold on a second, Pop-Tart. Bro Tony, Trunken Bass, is watching from Antioch, California. I can't wait for the Gately Audio competition.